Hello everybody, I'm Conquering History Games, and welcome back to part, I think, 18 of my United States of America campaign here in Hearts of Iron 4, The New Order. So we're still at war here in Indonesia, but I think we're in a really good position. I think worst case scenario, we're stalemated forever, and what could go wrong with us doing that? If you heard that pop, that's me opening up a little Xmas gift Santa brought me. Scotch. This is actually a scotch I've never had, but I will be drinking that throughout this episode. If y'all don't mind, cheers, everybody. Wait. Okay, let's get to it. Let me swirl this around. Gets event the mini hairs of the Hydra. Ooh, that is floral. The mini heads of the Hydra. Okay, so I want to see what this event does first. So we're gonna wait a minute. Is that Lincoln? Hold on. What is this? Powerful civil rights legislation. Oh, did I not notice this was an effect we got? Daily political power gain plus 0.10%. Nice. Or 0.1 of a point. Stability plus 7.5. The new Civil Rights Act has outlawed discrimination based on race, color, religion, or sex. It has also, I guess this is just going to go into all the details of what exactly is in there. It has also outlawed unequal application of voter registration laws and prohibits segregation in schools, employment, and private accommodations. This act includes strong measures for enforcing the voting rights of Black Americans, such as requiring jurisdictions with a history of disenfranchising minorities to seek approval from the Attorney General of the United States before making any changes to their voting laws. That was that was a thing, if I remember correctly, that got struck down a few years ago in real life by the Supreme Court. That particular section. Okay, it has also permanently prohibited literacy tests, ensuring blacks cannot be turned away at the polls through rigged examinations. It further includes protections for Native Americans by applying many of the Bill of Rights provisions to them for the first time. It also prohibits discrimination against quote-unquote language minorities and requires election materials to be available in both English and Spanish. This act also contains provisions for desegregating entire neighborhoods and combating both ghettoization and suburban white flight. This robust legislation strikes a decisive blow at the roots of racial inequality. By addressing de facto segregation in neighborhood enclaves, Black and white Americans now see each other as neighbors and not just customers or co-workers. The Attorney General of the United States, newly empowered by this act, is leading the charge to integrate every aspect of Southern society. Progressives and minorities around the country cheer this act as a sign of real justice for the other America. So yeah, we went hard. We made the bill, and we also gave it some teeth. And, you know, it cost us along the way, but we got there. Lord knows I was getting frustrated, but we worked with the Republicans, and in the end, look at that. We're 39% popularity. The Republicans are at 23%. Excuse me, why did the Conservatives make a comeback? Why are they at 24%? Yaki's at 1% right now. Huh. Our unity is high, too, which is good. Yeah, we've had no problems with the organization. So let's see what this mini heads of the Hydra thing is. Prevailing winds are to progressivism, but not all those in government are prepared to join the president's righteous crusade against injustice. Plenty of ancient toads from less enlightened administrations populate America's labyrinthian institutions, slagging off their new boss, while also never failing to collect their paycheck every work. That's how it be. It's about, like, that's something I've kind of always noticed, is, like, some of the biggest critics of the federal government I've ever met in my life, and I'm not going to say where I stand on the issue, but it is kind of funny that they tend to be people who work for the federal government. So you can kind of say maybe that's hypocritical. You could also say maybe they're seeing it up close and they got a reason to be upset. I'm not going to say where I stand on it. I'm just talking about general trends. It's about time our enemies in government learn not to bite the hand that feeds them. There are plenty to go after, but Hoover and his FBI stand out as the first unruly mutt to be brought to heel. No matter the cost, all traces of reactionary dissent must be purged from the government so that nothing and no one stands in the way of justice for all Americans. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Now, the clowns were those generals trying to run things in Africa. By the way, I don't think if I mentioned this, but Hubert Humphrey is our vice president. I don't think I mentioned that before. Let's read him real quick. The Hump. Few people are as qualified for their job as Hubert Humphrey, Vice President of the United States of America. Humphrey has been in politics for decades, and his entire career is one big progressive accomplishment after another. He founded the Minnesota Democratic Farmer Labor Party and laid the groundwork for turning the state into the bastion of social democracy it is today. He founded the Peace Corps to aid the most vulnerable nations, and he has always been a strict anti-fascist, willing to go as far as to jail those who wish to subvert the republic with their toxic ideology. It is said that the vice president is only one heartbeat away from the highest office, and if something terrible were to happen, Hubert Humphrey would be a more than suitable replacement for Robert F. Kennedy. You know, I'm trying to remember, did Hubert Humphrey ever run twice? I know he ran once. I might be mixing him up with Adlai Stevenson. Talk about him in real life. So this was just something in between episodes. I was looking at these next things, and I saw Cicero's Nightmare. What does that mean? So let's find out what that is real quick. America's, I'm thinking, well, anyway. America's, we've come to realize, is a land of towering contrasts as much as a land of towering skylines. We preach freedom, but we keep it away. Voting rights stuff. It's the same breath order judges and sheriffs to snub the opportunity to cherish liberty for a great many Americans. What is unjust must be set just at last. Towards this, we must turn our stern gaze to the lawmen who had overseen the effect of unjust laws. So now we're going to be going after the justice system, you know, these good old boy sheriffs and stuff in different towns, you know, where they just do their own thing. Let me tell you something. For those of you who don't live in the United States, the South truly is just doing its own thing a lot of the time. There was a freaking court case that hit the Supreme Court recently. It was about this death row prisoner and whether it was a cruel and unusual punishment to execute him. There was a lot of extenuating circumstances, but you know what? That doesn't even matter, because I found out when I was studying the case that it turns out the guy had been on death row for a very long time, but he wasn't even supposed to be on death row. The jury had actually not given him the death penalty, and then the judge overruled the jury. And it's like, okay, so are we having a civic code now? What the heck is going on? It's like whether you're somebody who believes in the jury system or not, or if you prefer a civil code like in other countries, it's like, okay, which is it though? Which is it? Can we pick one? So that was freaking crazy when I heard about that, and of course it was a case in Alabama, because Alabama do its own thing. It really be that way. People don't think it be, but it do. It really do. All right. Come on, get there, get there. Alright, so they've attacked the Republic of Slovakia. Bratislava burns, and with the last bastion of a brighter future, there is no hope left for the people of Slovakia. Basically, Göring is just locking down Europe. No more of this Reich Commissariat bullshit. It's ours. It's ours now, forever. So West Siberia and West Russia have both been united. Looks like it's just the, I'm sorry, did I say Siberia? I meant Serbia. This is all Serbia. It just looks like it's the Divan Mandate and Cheetah who still haven't resolved their things, but we're going to pretty soon, I think, be seeing somebody make their plays here. But if West Russia was able to successfully unify, it's definitely in their favor, although military district, of course, is... Oh, Rokovsky. Interesting. Yeah, we're giving up on this Italy crap. NPP is running a good campaign. Good, that's good for me. That's good for Bobby. And we're just gonna keep dumping stuff into our helicopters. We're dealing with attrition now. Oh, good, we got over. Very nice. All right, all Americans, you head east. And the other one of you, actually, I don't want you coming up here. I want you coming over here. Let's kill that. Let's get that naval base. But that's it. You know, it's over. We're on Borneo. There's an anti-communist volunteer guard. Oh, Onega. Yeah. Every one of these Russian countries, they got two names. You know, at least two. So it's hard to keep track sometimes. What's what? Polls have been updated. We'll check in on the horse race in a minute. Yeah, it's pretty much over in Indonesia. We did the breakthrough. This is very good. Oh, nice. We could do some stuff here. X supply grace for paratroopers. I think that'll count for air assault. So let's do that. The supply grace, obviously very, very good in a lot of these proxy wars to have. Now we can do glider planes. That's fun. Very, very, very good. All right, let's get. Yeah, road toward justice. What's the easing of southern fears? What does that even mean? He's seen as a danger to the right now, so I guess it's like we're red, we're a champion of social justice. We can chat with Goldwater, and that'll actually unite the Republicans and Democrats. This is kind of one of those funny things where, even though I'm an NPP in name, in reality I've been working with the Republicans for a lot of this. It kind of reminds me of shoot. It was one of the vice presidents. It was in the 19th century, who he was like a Whig vice president, but I think was he Harrison's vice president? But yeah, Harrison. I think it was that. Yeah, was Harrison a Whig? But anyway, they die, and then the vice president come in, but the vice president was in reality a Democrat, not a Whig. He just called himself a Whig on the ticket. So in reality, he was working with the Democrats for his administration. Got some anti-air stuff around here. Could be good, but I just don't know. Sure, let's do it. Not like I give a damn. Come on, we gotta come over here and take this port from them, so all these divisions will starve. There's quite a few of them out here, and we've also got to just delete some of these orders. Okay, that's it. Yep, we just took the port. Now they're all gonna die. Okay, the results are in. Gets event the clink. All right. Well, I guess it doesn't really. What's this underlying problem? Damn, that is something, isn't it? Requires as many browns versus boards as it takes. What does that mean? Has Brown versus the board? Oh wait, no. Here we go. Brown versus Landmark court case. Okay, so that did happen in this timeline. So yeah, we got to stamp it out. It's not enough to have legislation. We can't do much if the lawmen aren't actually enforcing it. So we're going to observe court practices. Laws may come from Congress, but as the humble court, which interpret their letter and spirit. Should Congress and court come at odds with one another, a situation will undoubtedly arise where any laws the former conceive will diverge significantly in wording by the time the nation's laws enforcement receive their memorandums. The Southern state legal system, manned by Dixiecrats and their sympathizers, courts of law from North Carolina to Texas, have long had a free hand in impeding the implementation of civil rights laws within their jurisdictions. So we're going to have to sift through. Kickstart the dismantling of Jim Crow is as simple as replacing the powdered wigs, apparently keeping it afloat. So we're going to observe and we're going to replace some judges, I guess. Oh boy, the Dixiecrats must be pissed. The soldiers too will take strike action. So these guys won. Nice blue flag. Let me get another sip of this Glenlivet. So whenever I take a sip, there's going to be a little pause because I was always taught that whenever you're drinking like a scotch or something like that, you need to keep that in your mouth for at least as many seconds as years old it is, because it's going to develop, it's going to evolve on your palate. Just a second. It's Glenlivet 12, incidentally. It's very light, but it's got some weight behind it, if that makes sense. Even though those are contradictory words. Cicero's Nightmare. I want to see what this is. It's the whole reason I took this. The Constitution promises justice to all, but any fool can see that as a falsehood. The grinding machinery of justice crushes many undeserving of punishment through its unstoppable gears, cruelly and unjustly ruining the lives of thousands of Americans every year. Like so many of America's institutions, our courts are as tainted and corrupt as any despots. Like so many things in America, the courts are worse to blacks. I'm sorry, real quick. I think I completely forgot to build infrastructure up here in Hawaii, in Alaska. Let's fix that. Sorry, Alaska. You guys have probably been screaming at me for 15 episodes. The courts are worse to blacks. African Americans, though deserving of the same rights as any other American, are subjected to endless humiliation and poor treatment every day. And when they fight back, they're ground through the courts like the lowest common criminal. It's our duty to scour the taint and corruption from our courts, to provide fair and equal justice to every American, no matter who they are. But like all our reforms, it won't be easy. To start with, we should establish a committee to scrutinize court practices across the nation and identify the blight, so we might tear it out. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So cool, we got some nice political power. Very good. Do I want to bother easing Southern fears? Let's see. We'll talk with hardline supporters. What is this? Robert F. Kennedy will gain support from unions and his radical support base. I think I might want to save it up and do like the fight against poverty or something. Campaign for civil rights. The National Progressive Party grows further divided. I'm already seen as a danger. Let's see. We can campaign with Wallace. We'll look better in southern states, but I'll seen as less liberal. Oh, you know what? We should... No, there's no need. I was going to say, let's send those more military advisors, but we're pretty much done. Like, this is... It's just a matter of time before we win here in Indonesia. So let's just save up the political power for right now, and we might really get spending... Well, yeah, let's... We'll really get spending it later. Let's... Yeah, we don't need to have, like, domestic support. Domestic support for the war is very high right now. We'll probably do something like the fight against poverty, because, okay, we can improve our academic base, industrial expertise, or poverty rate. So I think my academic base is already as high as it goes, though. So we've got primary schooling. Oh, no, we can get better. We can actually get better. So, oh, yeah, we've got a few different ones of these that we could do. The industrial expertise, we can go to cutting edge. We can also improve this industry. Okay, so Spartan discipline. Wow, so actually, yeah, there is like higher places we can go to. We currently have a massive stockpile of nukes. We can potentially go to an apocalyptic level. So we can, in fact, do other things. What's the poverty rate? I think the poverty rate has the harshest penalties, so we probably should prioritize fixing that. Because right now we're at 25 to 50%. Yeah, we can get 10% construction speed if we pop up here. 10% for our factories. It's going to help our stability, although we're practically maxed out since we managed to take care of some of that stuff. Japan wins the issue. Yeah, they're going to get Italy, whatever. I'm just not motivated for Italy. Not when we got things to do at home. Maybe in a different one. A different president. Let's see here. Light aircraft. Get this like Thunderbolt or whatever. No. We got heavy aircraft here. We can do stealth technology, I guess. Wait, no. Did that say 1,200 days? No. I totally misread that. This is what I want. Improve the aerial refueling. Okay. Actually, let's come up here to Tarakan. They have declared war on the Crimea now. We're supposed to help the Crimean. Excuse me, aren't they Nazis? Yeah, no, that is ridiculous. Freedom dies, the legions of Germans march onward. First off, this is completely absurd. How the heck are we supposed to fend off the entirety of the Nazi regime? But no, that is completely ridiculous. We are not going to send them anything. I don't even know to read this stuff. We could send guns. 5,000. Why would we help them? It's Nazi on Nazi violence. Yeah, I guess we could, like, oh, well, you're expanding how much violence they do to one another or whatever. But it's just, no, that's ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. American support. Yeah, this is not our fight. We don't need to get involved in every single thing that involves shooting fascists if like, we also have, like, we're supporting fascists to kill fascists. It's just, look, one of my favorite quotes from Legend of the Galactic Heroes is when a monster fights the devil, as a human being, I can only hope they kill each other. But no, absolutely not. Can't even believe that's an option. Maybe if you're like Yaki or somebody. Definitely going to be some more USA campaigns in my future. Yeah, look, they already lost. The Crimea is already dead. Like, they must have... That was ridiculous. Why were we even given an option to get involved? It would be like if I was offered to, you know, if I was a different country, like let's say I was Germany, like offering to help Guyana fend off the United States. Like, I guess, maybe, but just the second that the United States actually does a naval invasion, Guyana's not going to be able to hold it off, as we saw. There's just no realistic way to stop it. Let's keep working on some of this stuff. Okay, how? I cannot believe they still have not capitulated. Let's check where they're at. 99% there. Okay. Where's the nearest victory point? Or, shoot, 99%. We probably could just take 2 tiles, because it's like half a point per tile, right? NPP's running a good campaign. We're still saving up. Wait, why can't we do this? Right, we need money in our monetary reserves to pay for these things. Let's go to the economy here. Let's try to increase civilian spending or something. Or I think that actually just... got this deficit. I must be misunderstanding how something works with all this, since I have no reserves. Rally domestic support. Yeah, we'll just sit on the political power for now. Okay. On to Kendari. Let's keep moving. How is that not game yet? There it is. Free Indonesia has defeated Indonesia in a war. Great, great. And they have already got their own government, so we shouldn't have to get involved. Awesome. Man, I love that blue. That looks great. Freak yeah. The results are in, and they're pretty much what we expected. Our Justice Committee's report has confirmed our suspicions that... Wait, hold on. Has confirmed our suspicions that America's justice institutions are completely corrupt and in desperate need of reform. Judges and juries alike are horrifically prejudiced against African Americans, who are both found guilty more often and receive harsher sentences than whites on trial for the same crime, frequently denied their judicial rights. In America, Lady Justice is anything but blind. It's time she was blindfolded again. Wouldn't hurt to take her sword away either. Alright, let's do a racist prison system now. I want to come down to this KKK thing. That'll get interesting. One close look at prison tallies and registers across the country reveals a stark pattern. Colored men, predominantly from the ghettos and gutters of its sprawling cities, filling more of its cells than whites. Misjustice indeed, yet a misjustice tolerated at best, at worst encouraged for decades. Wherever the heavy hand of law has reached, we must address this. Okay. Peace has been brought to Vietnam. Oh my gosh. I was waiting until I'm freaking... Okay, I'm sorry. What did people say before when that one comes through? It's like, you've got mail. Okay. Fresh air at last. Looks like we can actually support a few different ones here if we wanted. Well, the Commonwealth of Siberia is the actual, like, democracy, so we'll send them a military shipment. Keep trying to support them. Safe houses. Polls are updated. Huh. Regional obfuscation. Okay. What is this? Yeah, Angola. Who cares? Is the Philippines ever going to uprise? It's a demilitarized zone there, it seems like, as well. Okay, cool. And they got their own tree. 2 arms. Our position secured. Finally, there we go. Today, after months of harsh fighting, I was wondering, are we going to get an event? Hello? We just won another proxy war. The Indonesian Civil War has come to an end as loyalist forces surrender in droves and Sukarno's top generals formally declare the fight over. The Popular Front has taken power. Comprised of anti-Sukarno Republicans, oppressed ethnic groups, communists, and Islamists, this ragtime army proved too strong for the loyalist forces. That's quite a coalition. With the victory of free Indonesia, the administration of Robert F. Kennedy has seen a notable increase in popular approval. Having promised the defeat of Sukarno and the triumph of democracy, the president's promise appears to have become reality. Exactly to what degree the United States' support affected the Indonesian Civil War remains a matter of debate, but for now, America seems happy to see a favorable conclusion to the war. The jungle finally cools. So, society's more unified now. We're going to get, liberal democracy goes down, conservative democracy goes down, authoritarian and social democracy goes up, and the NPP is going to get more popular. All those back channels are gone. So a lot of good stuff, basically. Do we want to campaign for civil rights? Like, we're already... It's going to divide us more. We're going to see seen as more liberal. Like, we're already the champion of social justice. I'm going to need to figure out some economic stuff. Yeah, we're still passively campaigning as the NPP. What I'm probably going to do in between episodes is I need to double check with some people about how this economy stuff works, because I think I'm misunderstanding something in regards to how, like, the deficit is. Liquid reserves we can't do because we don't have any reserves. Decrease cost by 5%. How many consumer goods are we currently using? 33%. Mafia money, Stonewall gin. Hold on. Let's do some global training centers. Okay, an anonymous room in Queens. The men paced about and spoke at late on the subjects one would expect. A laundering here, a fiefdom issue here. The latest quotas from the bosses. So it's just the mob are talking. Cosa Nostra stuff. Fiddle with the map of South Avenue. A new joint would jazz up the revenues and act as a movement point for money, guns, information. Old trades, new venues, easy money. But who would frequent it? It wasn't exactly Broadway. Anthony smiled. His next words would change history, even if he didn't actually know it yet. We open up to the queers. Oh, yeah, Stonewall. Oh, isn't this what leads to the Stonewall riots? I need to look that up. Hold on. Stonewall riots. Yeah, 1969. So in 3 years, let's keep an eye out. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, because this is kind of like a less known thing that happened in the 60s, because when people talk about it, it's usually like civil rights, instead of meaning like African American civil rights, but it's basically there was an area in Greenwich Village, which is in Manhattan, which was like there was a series of lesbian and gay bars that were in that area, and then the police were like consistently raiding, and then eventually they started getting into fights with the locals. I don't know if there were any casualties in that one. I don't think. Yeah, even though they were called riots, I don't think anybody died. I think the ones where people died were in San Francisco after Harvey Milk was killed. Those were riots that had a body count. Anyway, the clink. The first and most glaring issue in America's blighted justice system is our prisons. To be incarcerated in America is to be thrust into an abyssal. That's probably supposed to say abysmal. Pit of cruelty, depravity, and ironically, hideous injustice. Our prisons are cages of torment and suffering when they should be a tool to reform and rehabilitate convicts. And like everything else, it's worse if you're black. Our prisons are torture chambers filled with people who have no right being there. This must change if we are to reform the nation's mechanisms of justice. We must bring justice to those without access to it and give those who were unjustly treated a second chance. What we have here is a failure to communicate. Oh, we knew this charity for all thing. Wow, one stability. Nice. I'll keep that in mind. I want to see what's going to happen with the KKK here. The underlying problem, yeah, just gestures to the Confederate flag. It's like, guys, I think this might be an issue. Who watches the Watchmen? Nice. Hearings unheard. Early missives somehow reported missing past their schedule. Hold on a second. I'm gonna. Ooh, okay. Letters swapped into wholly new messages by the time they reach the patrolman. Work continues as we bring the rights of man to the rights deprived South, yet work continues as ploddingly slow as it was since the days of Reconstruction. We must admit to ourselves at this juncture that work cannot continue unless we address the root from which these issues are birthed. If the Dixiecrats aim to win this war with 1,000 bleeding pinpricks, then we shall have to grab them by the stem and root them out all the way to the godforsaken tip. Excuse me. I was going to say something about the Watchmen, or what was it? Racist prison system. Where was I? Oh, yeah, I was just thinking about prison. So I've been hearing a lot on the radio lately. I don't know what's going on. I think by the time you're watching this, yeah, definitely by the time you're watching this, we're probably like mid-January. But they're talking, the vaccine for the Backstreet Boys reunion tour has been getting distributed around the country. And boy, I don't envy the people who are trying to figure out who gets the priority, like, who's supposed to receive what first. So I've been hearing a lot of different arguments. Some people are saying, like, well, even though there's less people, it actually should go to rural areas first, because Italy went with Japan, we saw that. Because rural areas, are proportionally more affected if, like, a hospital worker gets sick, compared to, like, in an urban environment and things like that. But one thing that I've been hearing more and more from, like, multiple different outlets is that the vaccine actually should start going to the prison population first, which is, like, sounds controversial immediately. And so basically here's the argument that I'm hearing. Prisons are crowded areas that are full of disease, and they're easy areas for the virus to transmit. It's definitely already been documented that a lot of the early cases of the virus going around were from prisoners being transferred around the country, like federal prisoners and stuff. And I happen to know people in the sheriff's department of El Paso, who, let me tell you, they didn't give a shit about procedures. They just kept doing their own thing. So the thing is, so what happens, like, let's say you get booked into jail for the weekend or something, then you pick something up while you go in there, and then you get out of jail, and then you spread it to everybody else. So it's not even one of those things, it's like, where even if you were somebody who said, well, fuck them, they're prisoners, let them all get sick and die. Well, it's like, well, no, the thing is, even people who only are going in for a little bit, then they bring it back out to the community. And jails are very filthy places. Like, I donate blood and platelets a lot. Yeah, I think it's like, they have a questionnaire they always have me fill out, and I think it's like, if I've spent 72 hours in jail since I last donated, I can't donate for like 6 months, because like, who freaking knows what I picked up. Same reason why I can't bang hookers, and as if that's the only reason why. Anyway, but it's like, oh man, guys, I can't do heroin tonight. I won't be able to donate blood. Anyway, so it's just one of those things, like, who the heck is it? Like, what person who's actually in power? Because, like, these are doctors who are talking about this. Like, it was like, what person in power who's making the decision to say, hey, you know what? Before we give vaccines to the troops, let's give it to prisoners. That's a tough sell, and I don't think anybody's even going to try it. So, again, I'm not saying how I feel about it personally, but it's just one of those things. It's like, ain't nobody who actually is going to make the decision, somebody who's not a doctor, going to say, hey, let's vaccinate all the prisoners first before the general population. Anyway, so that's it for today. Hold on, let me get another sip of this Glenlivet. We really do live in a society. What? Okay, after we're done with this KKK thing, we need to go see what that is. Find out what funny stuff there's going on. And of course, I want to get down to we're going to need both sides before we can go Greatest Generation, then Goodnight, Sweet Prince. Because I'm really curious what this is. It's time to say goodbye. Yeah, there's got to be some sort of event with JFK or something. So I don't think... Yeah, a lot of this stuff takes a month. And then we have this out here. We cannot do all of this in one term, that's for sure. We'll have to just see what happens, I guess. I don't even know if we're going to be able to get reelected right now. We haven't even hit the Senate race, so I'm Conquering History Games. I'll see y'all next time. Have a great one. Bye.